Hi, my name is Alex and welcome to the Crochet Circle.
In this video series, I'm gonna show you how to make this crocheted bunny. Now, this is gonna be actually made in two parts. In part 1, I'm gonna show you how to make the head and the ears, how to attach the eyes and make the nose with the little mouth. And in part 2, I'm gonna show you how to make the arms, the legs, and the body. I think we can begin with the part 1 now. What you will need is, of course, some yarn. I'm using here some cotton yarn. I'm using my 3mm crochet hook. What else I need is some stuffing. Then I need some scrap yarn I'll be using them to mark the positions of the ears and the eyes. And what I'm also using is some black thread, embroidery thread, to make the nose and the mouth of the bunny. So I think we can begin now. So the pattern will be up here. Don't worry about if you cannot follow along. I'm gonna start with the magic ring, and in that magic ring I'm gonna do 5 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I'm gonna close the magic ring up. Now I'm gonna join this row, and row number 1 is done. So in row number 2 I'm gonna do 5 increases. That means in the end I'm gonna have 10 stitches, because an increase is just 2 single crochets in the same stitch. So that's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9, 10. And I'm joining it with the first stitch with a slip stitch, and I'm pulling this slip stitch really tight together, because one of the methods that I found how to get rid of the line where you join the rows is you join it with a slip stitch, you pull the slip stitch as tight as you can so it's almost invisible. Then when going into the next row you do a chain 1, again pull that chain 1 as tight as you can, and then you continue with in the same stitch where you started. So I'm in this stitch, so the first stitch will actually come into the same one. And I think we can now go up to row number 3. So row number 3 is going from 10 to 12. So that means I'm gonna do 4 single crochets and an increase. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and an increase. That means 5, 6 is an increase. 7 single crochet, 8 a single crochet, 9 a single crochet, 10 a single crochet, 11, 12 is an increase. And joining it. Now I need 9 more rows of 12 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and joining it. Now you can use a row counter or just write the amount of rows that you've already done. So I have 8 more to go. If you're wondering why I started with the ears, because the ears are actually gonna be sewn onto the head, and just to have them already prepared when the head will be done. So let's start with the ears. So that's 2 done, another 7 to go. I am not counting the stitches at the moment because it's just single crochets in each stitch. Again, when joining, pulling it really tight, single crochet for the next row and starting in the same stitch. Four, 5 more rows to go, and it's just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 and 12 single crochets in a row. So there are 2 ways to kind of crochet the ears. One is going around like I have it on a finger and crocheting. Now the other method that I find very good for it as well is kind of flattening the ear and then crocheting around. Move a bit around, flatten it, and see the stitches. joining it with the first stitch with a slip stitch. That was row number 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I just need one more row and then the first ear will be done. Now before joining it, I'm gonna cut the yarn. I'm gonna leave about 30-40 centimeters of yarn, and now I'm gonna join it invisibly. So that means I'm gonna take my needle and I'm not gonna go into the first stitch. So this is the end. I'm not gonna go into the first stitch, I'm gonna overlay the first stitch. So I'm going actually into the second one and back to where I came from. And pulling it tight. I'm gonna do is cut the starting yarn, and this is now the first ear almost done. What I still have to do is I wanna flatten it and then join the first two rows together. So first I'm gonna go in, and the little U shape that I made when I pinched it together, I'm gonna sew it together so it will stay like this. I just go through the work from left to right. Now I want to go into the point, so on top of the U, and go onto the other side. And then back to this side. And the first ear is done. Now I have to make another one. So this one stays here. Now for the second ear, I'm again gonna start with the magic ring. And in that magic ring, I have to do 5 single crochets. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and pulling tight the magic ring, actually closing it. And I can close up the first row with a slip stitch. Again, the slip stitch that I'm gonna make is gonna be pulled as tight as I can, and chain 1 for the next row, again pulling it tight. Now I have to do 5 increases, so the first increase goes into the same stitch where I am, so that's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9, 10. Now I have to go from 10 to 12. That means I'm gonna do 4 single crochets and an increase. So it's 4 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is an increase, 7, 8, 9 and 10 single crochets, 11, 12 an increase. Now I have to join it, and row number 3 is done. Now I need 9 more rows of just 12 single crochets, so chain 1, pulling it tight, starting in the same stitch as I am in, and I have to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 and 12 single crochets. Now 8 more rows. I'm not gonna count the stitches, I'm just gonna be working it around. It is a bit uncomfortable to be dealing with this kind of small number of stitches or a small piece of a project, but I think once you get the hang on how to actually hold your little ear, it then is much better. As I already mentioned it with the first ear, you can have your finger in and then crochet along, or you can flatten it and crochet like that. I'm actually already now gonna get rid of the starting tail, because other than that it's just gonna bother me. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, another 4 rows to go. As I said, you can use a row counter, you can use a piece of paper, or you can just count the rows afterwards. And if you do too many, don't worry about it. That just means your ears are gonna be longer. And if you do fewer rows, that only means your ears are gonna be smaller. Let's just double check if I still have 12 of them. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 and 12. Now I just have to double check the rows. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So one more row and second ear will be done. So 12 single crochets, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 and 12. Again, about 30 to 40 centimeters of yarn. Joining it invisibly. So I'm gonna take my needle and again I'm not gonna go in to the first stitch. I'm gonna go into the second stitch, pull it through, go back in from where I started from, and pull the stitch tighter, and that's it. All I have to do now is pinch it together, make like a U or a V shape. Now I'm going twice over the bottom part. Now I'm going back to the tip of the U or the V, and I'm joining it with the other side, going up one row and joining it again, and then bringing it down to the base. And that's the second ear done. So here are 2 bunny ears now. What I'm gonna do next is the head. So the head is really easy to make. It's the base of 6 with all the increases. Again, up here you're gonna have all the numbers that you have to pay attention. And in the 5th row and in the first row of 36, I'm actually gonna be making some markers with some scrap yarn that I have here, I'm just gonna make knots on each side, so I won't have to do that later. And this is actually gonna be my marker for the ears and for the eyes. You can definitely use other stitch markers that you have perhaps at home, but I have so much scrap yarn, so I'm just using these little bits and pieces to mark my stitches where in the end the ears and the eyes will go in. And now that I have everything here prepared, so I have my stitch markers, I have my safety eyes, I have some black thread, yarn, whatever you want to do. Good one is also embroidery thread that you can use for the nose and the lips or the mouth, and of course some filling. So now I can really begin. The base is, as I said, the base of 6, so I'm gonna do 6 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, pulling the magic ring together and joining the row. Joining it with the slip stitch that I'm pulling really tight together. Chain 1, again pulling it really tight together. Now the next row is 6 increases, so that just means 2 single crochets in the same stitch, and I'm already now at 4. 5, 6 is an increase, 7, 8 is an increase, 9, 10 is an increase, 11, 12 is an increase, and joining it with the slip stitch. Then I'm pulling really tight together, chain 1, again pulling the chain 1 really tight together. Now the next row is a single crochet and an increase, and I have to repeat that 6 times, so at the end I'm gonna have 18 stitches. Now that's 7, 8, 9 is an increase, 10, 11, 12 is an increase, 13, 14, 15 is an increase, 16, 17, 18 is an increase. Joining it with a slip stitch that I'm pulling really tight together. Now the next row again calls for actually 2 single crochets and an increase, but how I'm gonna do it is I'm gonna do a single crochet, an increase and a single crochet, just so I won't get those hexagonal shape at the end. So it's single crochet, an increase and another single crochet, and I have to repeat that 6 times. So 5 is a single crochet, 6, 7 is an increase, 8 is a single crochet, 9 is a single crochet, 10, 11 is an increase, 12 is a single crochet, 14, 15, 16 an increase, 17 single crochet, 18, 19, 20 an increase, and that was and I know I have the right amount of stitches, so it's single crochet, an increase and a single crochet, and now I'm at 24. Now to go from 24 to 30, I have to do 3 single crochets and an increase. So that's 1, 2, 3, and an increase, and I have to repeat that 6 times. So 6, 7, 8 single crochets, 9, 10, an increase, 11, 12, 13 single crochets, 14, 15 is an increase, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 is an increase, 21, 22, 23 single crochets, 24, 25 an increase, 26, 27, 28, 29 and 30 is an increase, and I'm gonna join the row. And what I'm also gonna do is I'm gonna put in my marker for the ears. I should have done it in the beginning, but I'm gonna do it now. So in this row I have to count 9 stitches first. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Now I have to count another 3 stitches, so that's 1, 2, 3. Now this is the position of the first ear. Now I have to count 6 stitches, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And another 3. Okay. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. And this is the position of the ears. So what I'm just gonna do here is I'm gonna do a knot so that it won't slip off. Now what I have to do is I have to go from 30 to 36. How I'm gonna do that is 2 single crochets, an increase, and another 2 single crochets. So 2 single crochets, an increase, and 2 single crochets. Now I'm on 6, 7, 8 single crochets, 9, 10 an increase, 11, 12 single crochets, 13, 14 single crochets, 15, 16 an increase, 17, 18 single crochets, 19, 20 single crochets, 21, 22 increase, 23, 24 single crochets, 25, 26 single crochets, then an increase, 29 and 30 single crochets, now 2 single crochets, an increase, and another 2 single crochets. Joining the row, and now what I have to do is I have to get 7 rows of 36 single crochets. So I begin with the chain 1, pulling it tight, and now just doing the 36 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 30, 31, 32, 33, 4, 5, 6, and joining it with a slip stitch. One more row of just 36 single crochets, and joining it. Now in the next row I'm actually gonna put my yarn in to mark where the eyes are gonna be. So what I have to do is I have to do 14 single crochets, put a marker in, 8 single crochets, put a marker in, and 14 till the end. So that's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. I'm putting a marker in. Now I have to do 8 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Putting again the marker in. And now 14 till the end. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and joining the rows. I know it looks like an alien at the moment, but once you will sew on the ears and once you will actually put in the eyes, it's gonna start looking like a bunny. Let's see how many rows I have. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now I need 4 more rows of 36 single crochets. Now the placement of the ears and the eyes. If you want the eyes to be a bit closer, you can put 15 stitches, then 6, and then another 15 stitches. But I think it's just the right distance to make the nose between the eyes as well. So I'm gonna go with this kind of a number, but if you think it's too wide apart, you can definitely move it a bit closer together. The same with the ears. If you think the ears are too narrow, too close at the top together, you can definitely shift them more to the right and to the left. And what I'm doing is just 36 single crochets. When I'm gonna be done with these 7 rows of 36, I'm actually gonna put in the eyes, and I'm gonna sew on the ears because it's much easier to sew on the ears now that the head is still opened. That sounds so wrong, but amigurumi style it is. So that's 6, 12, 18, 24, 30, 36, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I need 2 more rows of 36. And this is now my last row of 36, so 36 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 30, and 6 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm gonna join the rows and pull a bit a longer loop so I won't lose a stitch. Now here's my angry alien that I'm now gonna be changing the markers with my eyes. So the eyes are actually 0.75 millimeters, or in inches just a bit more than 1/4 of an inch. But you can make smaller, you can make larger, whatever you want. So where my marker is in, I'm gonna put in my eye. And I can cut it. And the other one. And I can also remove this marker. Now that my eyes are placed and I'm pleased with the position of them, I'm gonna be securing them. So that's one done. And the second one. Now the bunny already has the eyes and the eyebrows that are actually gonna come out, and I'm gonna sew the ears on. So the ears are gonna be sewn on like this. Actually, I think I can move them a bit more to the side. Yes, I'm gonna move them a bit more to the side, to be honest. But I'm still gonna use these markers as my points of reference. So what I wanna do is I wanna come to the front of the ear. And put the front of the ear in this marker in. Now I'm gonna go 3 stitches in the same row, and secure the back side of the ear. I'm gonna lose the marker now. And now I'm just gonna secure the ear to the head. If you're asking how much do you need to sew it on, well, so that it's secure. That would be my recipe for it. Sometimes you can have it with 4 stitches and everything is secured. Sometimes you just want to kind of put things more into place, and that means you need just a bit more stitches, but to be honest, it doesn't matter the number of stitches as long as it's secured. Now this ear is already secured, so I'm gonna go into the head now. And make a knot. And this bunny ear won't go anywhere. Now for the second one, I'm again gonna be referencing it at this point. So I need to get my second ear, use my needle again, get on the very top of the ear of the front and go in where my stitch marker is, so I'm going in there and coming out 3 stitches away from there. So I have to go in here and then 3 stitches. That is kind of the length of the ear. And try not doing what I've done. Getting your stitch marker sewn in. So this is the front, now to the back. And now all I have to do is secure it in place. Again, it doesn't actually matter how many stitches you need, as long as it's gonna be secured. just this part, because I do want it to be nicely in place. And that's it. So my second ear is now sewn to the bunny as well. All I have to do is go into the head of the bunny and make a knot. Now this is the part of the head done. I need to do one more row, so I'm gonna go from 36 to 30, and after that I'm gonna show you how to make the nose and the mouth. So how I'm gonna go from 36 to 30, I'm gonna do 2 single crochets, a decrease. With a decrease I'm gonna just get the front loops of the stitches and join them together, and another 2 single crochets. So that's 5, 6, 7 single crochets, 8 a decrease, 9, 10 single crochets, 11, 12 single crochets, 13 a decrease, 14, 15 single crochets, 16, 17 single crochets, then a decrease, 19, 20 single crochets, 21, 22 single crochets, a decrease for 23, 24, 25 single crochets, now 2 more single crochets, a decrease, and 2 single crochets, and I can join the row now. Again, I'm gonna pull it a bit longer because now I'm gonna be sewing with the darker thread the nose and the mouth. So this can be embroidery thread or any other thread that you have. I'm actually gonna make a knot at the end. Now the position of the nose, actually what I'm first gonna do is I'm gonna secure it in place. Now the position of the nose is 2 and 2 stitches away from the eyes. Now I'm just doing 2 sets over the 3 stitches. Actually, I'm gonna do 4, and then I have to find the center of them and go down. and go up, back, and the little mouth for the bunny is done. To be honest, what I will also do is I'm gonna make a bit of a smile for him. So I'm just gonna make a small V at the end. And it's not nicely in line, so I'm gonna remove the last stitch and the stitch before that as well. And I'm gonna do this again. Now that's one. And that's two. And there is the bunny's smile. Now all I have to do is secure it so it will stay like this. I'm just gonna make a knot, and that's gonna be it. So, bunny with bunny nose and a bunny mouth. Again, I'm just the bottom part of the nose was a bit wonky. That's why I just went back in and rearranged it, repositioned it, and now I'm just gonna make another knot, and that's it. The bunny head is almost done. Now all I have to do is close it up. Now I have to go from 30 to 24 stitches. How I'm gonna do that is 3 single crochets and a decrease 6 times. So 3 single crochets, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and I'm just counting single crochets. Perfect. So 1, 2, 3, and a decrease. That's 4, 5, 6, 7 single crochets. 8 is a decrease. 9, 10, 11 single crochets and a decrease. 13, 14, 15 single crochets, 16 is a decrease, 17, 18, 19 single crochets, 20 is a decrease, 21, 22, 23 single crochets, 24 is a decrease, and joining it together with the slip stitch, pulling the slip stitch really tight together. Now I have to go from 24 to 18, so chain 1, pulling the chain 1 tight. Now I'm gonna do single crochet, a decrease, and a single crochet, and I have to repeat this 6 times. So single crochet, a decrease, and a single crochet, a single crochet, a decrease, and a single crochet, single crochet, a decrease, and a single crochet, a single crochet, a decrease, and a single crochet, and the last one, single crochet, a decrease, and another single crochet with joining the row. Now what I have to do is get my filling, get my stuffing, and stuff the head. I have more. I don't think I'm gonna run out of it. Now how much you're gonna stuff your toy is up to you. It has to hold its position, but it doesn't have to be like hard as a rock. Plus, if you're gonna stuff it too much, then the stitches are gonna expand and you will see the stuffing, and you don't want to see the stuffing, to be honest. Okay, so I am satisfied with the filling. Actually, no, just a bit more. And now 2 more rows of decreases. So the first is gonna be a single crochet and a decrease 6 times, single crochet and a decrease, single crochet and a decrease, single crochet and a decrease, now single crochet and a decrease, single crochet and a decrease. And I'm already at the last row. The last row is gonna be just 6 decreases, and then the head will be done. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and joining it together with the slip stitch, doing a chain 1, and I can cut the yarn. now all I want to do is just work this end tail a bit in, but you don't have to do much because this part is gonna be hidden inside the body of the bunny, so it's just to hide this end tail. And the bunny head is done. I hope you enjoyed the video, I hope you enjoyed the tutorial. So I made 2 ears, a head, I placed the safety eyes for the eyes of the bunny, then I had some embroidery thread for the nose and the mouth. It has a little smile here. In part 2 of this tutorial I'm gonna show you how to make the body. If you wanna get notified when I'm gonna do that, hit that subscribe button, and yeah, if you have any questions you can definitely ask. The comments are always welcomed. If you have any suggestions, perhaps what I did wrong or how you put your eyes on or how you embroidery it, let me know as well. I'm happy to learn new things every time. So until the next time, I'm gonna say happy crafting!